Welcome back. Well, of course, we've all got smartphones, we've got computers, so should we be worried then when we hear the words cyber attack? Well, recently Australia's major political parties were targeted in a series of sophisticated cyber attacks which have been traced to a foreign government. Which one we're not quite sure at this stage. So to discuss this growing threat and what it really means for all of us, I'm joined by our tech expert Lani Rafiti. Lani, thank you for your time. First of all, can you give us a bit of detail about what we know has happened or what we think has happened?
Yeah, look, details are a little bit scant because it only happened last week. What we know is that there's three sort of separate attempted attacks, is the language the government used. First on the Australian Parliament House network, which is the common network that all our parliamentarians and staffers and that use, force them to reset passwords, etc. And then the Prime Minister announced last week, which is probably more worryingly, that the computer networks of the major parties had been targeted, attempted attack, so to speak. And I guess what's worrying people is two things. It's been attributed to a foreign government, which is an unusual step that the Australian government would take. And secondly, with so close coming up to the federal elections, there are concerns that we might see, similar type attacks which have happened in the Europe and the German and French elections, as well as obviously the 2016 US presidential elections as well. Now, the denial is China. China's been linked to this. What would be the motivation? Well, look, again, so the motivation, the government has been quite clear in saying they don't know what the intent or the motivation is. But usually in these cases, the motivation is usually a reconnaissance. So usually feeling out the computer networks, looking for weaknesses that can be exploited later on. Or the motivation could go right to, attempting to influence elections or attempting to sow discord in society around the elections. And put quite simply, China says, I didn't do it. Yeah, I mean, look, and there's speculation, right? And usually when you look at things like this, three countries, their names come up, and that's China, Russia or Iran. But again, the government has been very, clear in saying they don't know who it was or can't say who it was. But speculation generally falls down to those three countries. So what about us? You and I who have a smartphone and as I said, a computer. I mean, what does it all mean for us? To be honest, it's newsworthy in terms of, it's a foreign government. It has that James Bond sort of look and feel to it. However, primarily for us, it's around cyber criminals. They're the ones that are looking to either steal money from businesses or individuals, and really focus on the basics, passwords in terms of where identity is, etc. So, while it might make newsworthy, we should really focus on cyber hygiene, for ourselves. Good point. Lani, thanks for your time this afternoon. Appreciate it. See you soon.
Queensland is watching the #1 news hour.